Hey there, YouTube land. Coming at you with another review from our horror-a-thon. This time we're moving into the 1970s. And what better way to move in with the 70s than with the 1971 cult classic, The Abominable Dr. Phibes. Yeah, got it with this 2-pack with a Scream again. This is a weird film. I don't think I can even review it. That's how weird it is. But The Abominable Dr. Phibes is a really good movie. Stars Vincent Price as this guy named Anton Phibes, who's a doctor, a musician, and he died. Actually, no, he didn't die. He was believed to have been killed in 1921 in a car wreck, along with his wife. However, he survived the car wreck, but his wife died on the operating table. So he decides to get revenge on the doctors he thinks were responsible for the death of his wife. And that's the plot of the film. So, so his wife dies in a car wreck, or wife almost dies in a car wreck, dies on the doctor's operating table. He wants revenge. So it's pretty much a revenge film. However, what I really like is I love the way that he plots the revenge. He decides to kill the 9 doctors by using the plagues that was in Ramses in Egypt. The 10 plagues of Ramses. And that's where we're going to talk more about this, about the review. So it involves, like, he uses bats to brutally kill, because this is a PG-13 rated film by today's standards. So he unleashes these bats in one of the doctor's rooms. It goes, like, flying around and stuff, and it's brutally pecking the doctor. I mean, just pecking them all over, and it's disgusting. Another one is he uses rats in this guy in an airplane, which he's like covered in rats. He's like, oh no. And he goes down and he blows up the airplane. Another one is, this is probably the grossest one. I hate this one so much. I hate bugs. But he uses locusts to crawl down this little pipe thingy. He drips slime all over this dude's face, and the locusts crawl and eat out his face. It's like, holy crap. You know, what they could get away with back then. He also uses, he creates this little contraption where it has this little flying, like, metal thing with a huge corkscrew on it, and the corkscrew thing goes flying and goes into this dude, and he gets pinned to a door. So that's pretty cool as well. But I also forgot, the police also interfere. And the main guy is played by, I believe, Hugh Griffith. I think it's played by Hugh Griffith. And he plays one of the main detective who's trying to track down Phibes. He's good in it as well. But back to the death scenes. What's the other one I was thinking of? He also uses ice, where he freezes this guy in a car, and he's, like, literally frozen solid. Like, they can hardly get the door open to the car. It's covered in ice. You're figuring out, how did they do that with special effects and stuff? Because it looks like he's covered in ice. But, what was the other death I'm thinking of? It's been a little while since I've seen it. But, those are just a few of the deaths in this movie. This movie is also sort of a little, sort of a dark comedy as well. So I guess I'll talk about the actors and the film company who distributed it and stuff. But Vincent Price, of course, stars as the Abominable Dr. Phibes. And he, of course, gives a great performance, as always, as any Price film. He gives a good role, a good performance. As Dr. Phibes, he's a very sympathetic character, but at the same time, he can be rather unsympathetic in some parts, and you can't. There aren't many films that there's that kind of role. But he overall, you feel for his character. You know, you feel sad for the fact that he lost his wife because he thinks that the doctors killed her on the operating table. But at the same time, we don't know that they actually killed her. That could just be his assumption, for all we know. So I mean, it's kind of less ambiguous. He thinks they killed her, but we're not actually sure. She could have died by accident. He could have been a freaking murderer, for all we know. But I'm getting off topic. Hugh Griffith, I believe, plays the detective. Terry Thomas is in this. Virginia North plays his sort of female silent assistant who helps prep the deaths and stuff. Joseph Cotton plays the main doctor who was involved in Victoria's death and Dr. Phibes' wife's death. And yeah, these are the actors. Of course, it was distributed by American International Pictures, who was so famous back in the 70s. They directed so many great movies. Of course, Samuel Z. Arkoff, one of the most famous people in that company. He made, I can name hundreds of films by him. Coffee with Pam Grier, great blaxploitation film. Frogs, which I might do a rant on that this month. I'll say what I can do, but I might do a rant on it. So stay tuned for that. Just so many other films. The music was composed by Basil Kirchen, yeah, and it was directed by Robert Fust, I believe. Yeah, Robert Fust, and it was written by James Whitten, William Goldstein. Overall, though, a very entertaining film with a lot to add to it. Has some very, very, very inventive death scenes. Vincent Price gives a very, very good performance as Dr. Phibes. Overall, check out this cult classic if you haven't seen it. It's a very good film. And, yeah, see you guys later.